does that look? Or should I wear my river hat? You told me if I were on your arm in Lisbon, I was to look neither to right nor left and incline my eyes only to the aged. Well, answer. In 3 weeks, you've not stopped talking.
It is the last time.
For talking or walking or both?
I am to sail on the Charlotte roads for Rio directly.
But James said it would be weeks yet.
He has changed his mind. I am to board tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
We sail first to Newfoundland and down the coast to Rio, and then back to the Amazon mouth, then upriver to await orders at Manaus.
Whose orders?
Your brother James.
You'd think he sat on my shoulder, hissing at everyone I meet.
It will be months, Elizabeth.
Then you must depart without dismay, Jose.
Easier said than done.
Have to live with trucks and towage all the way up. Our first problem is Manaus. Now, I want you to wait for me there. Fogarty has 3 weeks start on me. Fraser will probably overtake me in the tar pond. He's as hell bent on winning this contract as I am.
I've heard whispers about the building of this railway in San Antonio, sir.
Ah, yeah?
They need our coal, but they've had their problems. The government says one thing, and what happens in Spotty is another. And that it's all steam up there. See, sails are no good on that river.
We have one advantage, you see. We've got young Braganza now. He speaks the lingo. Make him earn his keep, will you?
Aye, sir.
Where is he, by the way? I thought he was aboard.
I dare say he's got some good buys to make, sir.
Really? And I thought his passions were seashells.
Jose Braganza. Just think. The Amazon River. Such adventure.
Perhaps.
Oh, come. The hours will pass like minutes and you'll be back here in no time.
Yes.
Senor Braganza. Can't keep the tide waiting.
I was just leaving.
You'll be sailing under Captain Baines' command.
Jose has not signed articles as a seaman, James.
3 weeks here and you have a protector already. Now remember, keep your ear to the ground, use your head, grease a few local palms if you have to. You're not on holiday until we get this contract.
I am very grateful to you.
Oh, no need to be. Remember, if he doesn't sail with Captain Baines, he sails with me, and I will sail short-handed, with a marlin spiked between my teeth.
You must be careful of him.
In his puritanical way, he is right. Married women should not inspire such admiration as I feel for you.
I believe you mean it.
I mean it.
Then thank you.
For what? There are things unsaid. It is only now I am leaving that...
Tell me.
Sometimes I look at you and you take away my breath. There is not anything I would not do for you, Elizabeth.
Enough.
I will write to you.
Please do.
Elizabeth.
Ah, there you are, Mr. Braganza. Now then, what's Portuguese for mosquito?
Mosquito.
Ah. Well, that's what you are then on this trip, mosquito captain. I want nets made out of that gauze there for everybody on board, and a double for me. That's a pity you didn't have a few wets with the crowd forward. You know, it's sometimes better if you haven't got a leg under you and don't know where you're going. By the way, about Mrs. Well, we're sailing soon.
What I wanted to explain to Mr. Biddulph was that I have very great hopes of getting an exclusive contract to ship coal to the Brazilian railways. If I could approach your father with a
Mr.
promise...
Fraser, if my father would hear, he would tell you the same thing. He has a firm commitment with Captain O'Needon, who carries all father's coal.
I understand that you persuaded your father to give that contract to O'Needon.
Yes. But I'm afraid I hold no such influence with the Brazilian government. So there your chances are much better.
Indeed they are. I have a vessel there already. And I'm going personally to speak to the principals involved. I wondered if your father knew quite how ripe the market was for plucking.
Whether he knew or did not, his answer would be the same. He has made a promise.
Highly commendable. Allow me. I hope you'll agree it was sensible of me to try. Oh, morning, O'Needon. Why aren't you in passage?
Sail tomorrow.
Another race, then?
A race.
Well, didn't Caroline tell you? I'm sailing myself, and she's to accompany me.
To accompany you, Mrs. Mosley.
Oh, yes, it was agreed weeks ago. She speaks Portuguese, and I always believe in dealing personally with the principals. Good day to you, O'Needon.
Good day, yes.
Miss Biddulph.
He came to see father. He wanted me to...
Oh, I can guess what he wanted. So your father's not in, hey?
No, he's in Manchester. Mr. Fraser seems to make great play of the fact that Captain Fogarty is already on the Amazon with a steam vessel. Is that the Anne O'Needon?
Yes. Only he renamed it the Scotch Lass.
And Mrs. Maudsley's going too.
Yes.
And you're sailing?
I shall be sailing on the Osiris with the cargo of coal.
Can I come with you?
Miss Biddulph?
Please.
Sorry, that's quite impossible.
Why?
Well, I'm a believer in certain conventions.
Well, what does the pilot book say?
It says, it is manifestly impossible that any reliance can be placed on river boys maintaining their exact position.
Well, you'd best wait for a pilot then.
I've waited 6 tides.
Oh, well, waiting's better than losing.
Losing?
The ship. It's easy enough to Maneus, but after that, the Rio Madeira's never been navigated by a ship this size.
Well, why don't they send a pilot? I've already shown blue over white lights and flags to that pilot schooner.
Maybe you should run up a side of pork and a tablecloth. Well, you didn't think it was like the Clyde, did you? What does it say about the climate up there?
Hot and humid. Yellow fever, malaria, diphtheria, smallpox and beriberi are prevalent.
Perhaps it's the undertakers clubbing together to build a railway.
It'll do you no good, son. My employer's sister is a married woman. When a young lad like you starts on that road, there's no knowing where it'll end. If you can spare a minute, what about giving your bleeding heart to some of those mosquito nets?
It surprised me that you gave no indication that you would be accompanying your uncle.
Should I have done?
Well, I just wondered if you would like to change your mind and come with me on the Osiris.
Oh, she will make a slower passage than the Tarpon.
Oh, well, only a day or two, that's all.
Thank you, no. I have promised Uncle to accompany him as far as Maneus. No doubt I shall see you in passage.
Have you forgotten, James? The circumstances of our husband's death.
By the Mark 7! By the Mark 5!
cut it from here to there, Commandante. And then the disemboweling, stake it out. The blood they drink, the heart they preserve, the liver, is a delicacy. Even the sinews they make use of is a sport.
What Indians are they?
All Indians. Never trust an Indian unless you have him by the throat. Excuse.
By the mark, 10.
You sure you wouldn't like a little river wife, Commandante? Little Malucha, huh? Long voyage, dark night, steamy river, huh?
Obliged to you, pilot, but, no, thank you very much.
You're the first Inglés ever say no.
Now then, your message. Whose urgency, yours or mine?
I hope you don't plan to put Jose in any danger.
If you ask me, is there more danger here?
You'll do well to remember Senor Braganza's help in the past.
I appreciate his wine trade.
If any harm should come to Jose.
Forget Jose, you're married to Albert. And we've a brother in politics. He won't thank us for any breath of scandal.
Scandal? No one must upset your apple cart, must they? You need nobody, James. That's where we differ. But I love and I need to be loved. And that is something you will never understand.
Well, is that all, then, apart from the messages of love?
Jose's father left him in your charge.
Yes, yes.
If you won't do it for me, think of your own interest.
I will, I will.
I want him back. Do you hear me, James?
It's not your concern. You have a husband. Best remember it.
That's funny. Braganza Bank, they call this here. And listen to this. Occasionally, pilots are met at Ponte Tepu, but too much confidence must not be placed upon them. And listen to this. Details of the chart at the entrance of the river cannot now be regarded as satisfactory. Proper Job's competent, this pilot book is.
Will the pilot take the mail?
Oh, yeah, take everything we give him when we get there. You see the way the water changed color. It's gone all yellow. We're on the Amazon River, right at the mouth. Here, listen to this. Great care is required in approaching San Antonio. It is rare not to see wrecks. I hope old Fogarty got that up his nose. I wish we could catch him up.
Mouth of the river, it was the same story. I waited 10 days for a pilot there. At least I expected more cooperation here in Meneas.
Every cooperation, Commandante. We've heard from Senor Fraser, and everything he hath requested has been done.
But my orders are for San Antonio. He expects me to be there discharged.
The Rio Madeiro is a little more difficult.
Look, I've just experienced 5 weeks of difficulties. I demand a river pilot. At once!
Of course, Commandante. Would you like a little refreshment?
Oh, thank you very much.
No, Dogadi. Commandante Fogarty. He needed drinks. No nothings, I ask.
You must be aware, sir, that the San Antonio authorities await my cargo.
And you their contract.
Yes. Which is why I must proceed immediately.
Immediately? That is very unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
You have come at a most unfortunate time.
The depth of the river?
No, it is the fiesta of San Juan. There will be fireworks, cannon. The girls wear flowers in their hair. It's time for French leave.
Nothing moves on the river for a week.
Go up the Rio Madeira without a pilot?
Been done before.
Not with a vessel of this draft. We're loaded down, man.
I'm not going to face Fraser with nothing achieved.
But there are currents in this river we've never even heard of. Shoal banks that shift every day.
My orders are for San Antone.
Not without a pilot.
You've seen the pilots.
Captain Fogarty, if you intend to proceed, I'd like my objection noted in the log.
Mr. Engineer, You'll have your objection noted in the log.
He's now several days behind us, but he'll make up ground later, no doubt. He's a good seaman, his own Eden.
Give him that.
But little else. These Liverpool lads are born and bred to the sea. When they leave it, that's a different matter. Come, my dear. Is it not time you turned your mind to your own affairs? You're a wealthy woman. It's time we found you a husband.
Why?
Why? You cannot spend your life in widowhood. I know your husband died in most tragic circumstances.
It's not that. I feel no great need for a husband. Marriage is very much a conventional affair.
Conventional?
And a masculine convention at that. What do women get out of it but drudgery and a parcel of brats?
Oh, come on.
What indeed? Think of all the women who nightly have to suffer the selfish demands of drunken oafs. In my view, the wedding ring is the license for goodness knows what brutality.
Certain classes, I concede.
Oh, no. Beneath many a royal robe, there are still garments which require laundering.
Caroline, I fail to understand you.
I'm not sure that you want to. Most men don't.
But if you don't intend to marry, what is there in front of you?
I can assure you I shall not sit in my best frock with my toes on the parlor fender, waiting in divine innocence for some good, honest fellow.
Perhaps I was impertinent in asking.
Perhaps I've been too frank in answering.
This fellow, Eden,
No, he has a certain difference.
he's a hard taskmaster.
Perhaps he needs a wife. Tell me, this contract which you and Captain O'Needon seek with the railway authorities, what assurances have you there will be any trade at all? The railway is scarce begun.
Oh, it'd be like the prairie states of the Midwest. Once the railway is built, trade follows in its wake. That's why the government is offering inducements. A free port.
Government in Rio de Janeiro.
The Brazilian government, yes.
It's a very long way from the capital to the Rio Madeira. You do not suspect anything?
Suspect? What should I suspect?
I've always asked myself why strangers should reap the profits when there are locals with their ears to the ground.
Well, you know the Portuguese, they'll cut down the tree to pick the flower. They need us, and the government know it.
The government in Rio, 3,000 miles from the mouth of the Amazon, and you remain confident.
Fogarty is there already, and I have a card up my sleeve.
No lighters on the whole Amazon River?
Lighters in profusion, Commandante. But the steam tugs to move them up here are unfortunately at San Antonio.
Move 'em down.
Very difficult.
My employer is due in Para later in the month, and I've come on ahead to engage lighters and a tug. We'll have 2,000 tons of coal for San Antonio. And the only way we can shift them is with a steam tug to draw the lighters.
It's very difficult. It is September, Commandante, and the river level falls.
What difference does that make to a steam tug?
I will make inquiries.
Now, speaking frank, sir, don't it strike you as strange that there's not one steam tug for charter in the whole port of Manaus?
But your employer is not here yet.
Yeah, but it just occurs to me that maybe somebody might have nobbled them tugs.
Nobbled?
Yeah, I've been told that Fogarty's gone upstream on the Scotch Lass. Now, putting it blunt, sir, whatever he give you, we can match it.
I am here, Commandante, to offer you the full cooperation of the Brazilian government. This will be given to you without benefit of gratuity. In future, however, I would prefer to deal with your employer. Good day to you, sir.
Oh, look.
Good day to you.
This September, everything very difficult.
Come in here, John Willie. There's no doubt about it that Fogarty's nobbled them tugs under Fraser's orders. They're all lying idle up at San Antonio, and without them, we can't get a cargo up there. So now's your chance. Yeah, you haven't done a hand's turn since you come aboard, so this is what I got for you. Now listen carefully. Oh, come on, son. You're not the first love-struck lad I've ever sailed with. Get it into your mind. As soon as this job's done, your life is your own affair. But first, I'm sending you up the Rio Madeira after Fogarty.
What?
By canoe.
Let me understand you, Captain Baines. You want me to go up the River Amazon alone in a canoe?
Ah. It'll be alongside First Light. I got your bears and all.
I'm sorry?
Engines to paddle. When you get up to San Antonio, promise them the earth. As long as you get a steam tug, it'll take you about a week.
Can we trust these Indians?
Well, I thought of that. I showed them all this, the sort of stuff they want, and I've told them that they'll only get it if they bring you back here safe and sound. What I'm going to do is to hold this boss man here as hostage, you see? And when you get back, they get him back.
You think of all eventualities, Captain Baines.
Aye. First Light, then. Oh. There's one thing more. You better take this bit of ironmongery here. It might be useful. You'll catch him. Fogarty can't move quickly in those waters without a pilot.
Slow ahead. Keep it as she is. Half ahead.
By the mark, 3. Sir! Captain, sir!
Tom! Get that engineer up here!
We'll need to get a tug to get us off of here. Have you looked over on the bank?
Aground?
I am afraid so.
But I was clearly informed the river was navigable.
Ah, for 9 months of the year, vessels drawing 16 feet of water pass with careful navigation. But Commandante Fogarty was hasty.
But he must have had a pilot.
Il ne quería una mujer.
He would not wait, senor.
What are we to do?
The river will rise in January.
January? But it's September.
It might be possible to jettison the cargo.
Throw 1,000 tons of my coal into the river?
Ludovico Lugar. E canoa. E dish.
My assistant asked me to remind you that Commandant O'Needon will also face difficulties.
He did nothing of the kind. I speak Portuguese. The cargo will not be jettisoned no devido lugar, in the right place.
The senora misunderstands.
You will do well to remember that this enterprise has the full backing of the Brazilian government.
Of course, senora.
Good. And this canoe.
Canoe?
That individual distinctly mentioned the word canoa.
Oh, canoes pass up and down the Rio Madeiro every day, senora.
Also in the right place.
Excuse? I think there has been some misunderstanding. Until tomorrow.
I've never seen such a riffraff in my life. They seem bent on obstructing us. Do they want my coal or not?
Oh, they want it all right. But on their terms.
Mr. Fraser and Mrs. Maudsley. Well done, Captain Baines. Now, where's Captain Fogarty?
You had weeks, man, weeks, in which to engage a pilot. As for attempting the river on your own, madness. What on earth persuaded you to proceed without a pilot?
And there were none available.
No pilots.
No. When I arrived there was a week's national holiday.
I distinctly told her, you will be jobber, packman, tallyman, all on your own. Why didn't you bribe a pilot?
I got no cooperation at all.
What steps have you taken to refloat the vessel?
She's on silt. She'll only float off if I unship her cargo, but they won't give me the tugs to do that. They say the cargo shall be jettisoned. That's the oldest trick in the world. We jettison the cargo and they pick up as much as they can when the river dries. That way they get it for nothing.
1,000 tons of my coal for nothing. We'll see about that. Why is your crew in such a wretched state?
Let me try to frighten us off. Every night there's Indians gather on that riverbank. There's lots of chanting and beating of drums. There's even gangs of them with burros and panniers waiting to pick up the coal. And it's the noise that gets them. Then there was this.
What the devil's that?
Javaro head. These lot are not Javaros. They're the sweepings of Menaeus. Yes, me, the whole thing's been cooked up there.
Aye. Like as not.
Well, look, the Brazilian government wants San Antonio opened up as a port, right? But in Menaeus, the port means competition.
So, they're trying to frighten us all.
Have you told him about the bats?
Oh, that's just the jungle.
The jungle, is it? Mr. Fraser, sir, there are bats that come down at night and suck the blood right out your toes, and spiders as big as plates. But it's the chanting that's the worst. They'll be starting up just as the light goes.
That's me, they're all relatives of the port authorities in Menaeus.
Do you know what the chanting means? It means, spirit of the spider, fill me with thy poison. It's very cheering.
Bogies to frighten children. Get hold of your crew, Captain Fogarty, and get the ship afloat.
Well, that's easier said than done, unless we jettison the cargo.
I'll not jettison.
There's only one thing we can do. The Charlotte Rhodes is empty and ballast in Menaeus. We could get her up here and transship the cargo, or most of it. But that would mean a deal with O'Needon.
And the possibility of my losing the contract.
Nice to see you again, sir.
Thanks. Well, I brought you some mail. Something for young Braganza.
Oh, yes, I've had to send him up to San Antonio, sir. He's the only one who can speak the language.
Yes, well, you did the right thing. I told you he'd earn his keep.
Yeah. Well, I'm holding this local headman here, sir, as hostage. His name is John Willie.
Aye, well, you did the right thing then. Yeah. Very wise.
Oh, by the way, sir, you have a visitor. Huh? A big surprise in these latitudes.
Mrs. Maudsley. You haven't crossed the Atlantic on a social visit, have you?
Well, I've never been aboard the Charlotte Rhodes before. She's smaller than I thought.
Well, we manage, you know. Well, to what do I owe the honor of the pleasure of this visit? I saw your uncle going down the river with a face as long as your arm. He hasn't sent you on one of his errands, has he?
Mr. O'Needon, sir.
Excuse me a minute, will you? Ahoy!
It's a hostage, sir. He's as slippery as an eel. He's not in the chain locker. He made himself a kip there, but I can't see sight nor sound of him, sir.
Try the forecastle.
Right, sir.
Por favor! No! Jeffrey! Jeffrey!
John Willie, you've been told your place is up aloft. Oh, come on, give us that. Come on, I'll put a boot in you. Put your ideas in your engine. Now, you talk. Now, you boss man on river, see? Not down here. Now, come on, get out of here. You frightened, did he? Oh, come on, he smells a bit. Nothing to be afraid of. Should have realized. Here, would you like some brandy, eh? Now, won't be a minute.
Oh, don't leave me.
Eh?
John Willie, sir. He's gone.
Our hostage.
Aye.
Go on.
Yeah, I just caught a glimpse of him. He went over the gunwale, quiet as a mouse.
He frightened Mrs. Maudsley a little.
You didn't speak sharp to him, did you, sir?
Sure.
The tone of your voice. You've got to be careful with them. They don't like being humiliated in front of women. Now, did you speak sharp to him?
Oh, yes, I did.
Well, there's our hostage gone. I only hope the young Mr. Brigance is safe in San Antonio.
I knew this trip had a jinx in her. Did you know they changed her name? She used to be called the Anne and Eden, but they changed it. Ah, Scotch lass. What do you see, sir?
You noticed something?
Eh?
The Indians. They've all gone upriver.
Well, if they're gone upriver, they can't be interested in us, then. Changing a ship's name. You do that in the Clyde, you wouldn't get a man to ship in her. Always means death.
I don't know what you said to Mrs. Maudsley last night. She came on board in some distress.
Oh, I did nothing.
She's a very remarkable young woman.
Is that why you sent her?
Have you no feelings, man? Her husband was killed by Indians before her very eyes.
Jeffrey.
Hasn't put in an appearance this morning. I'm sure she'd take it very kindly if you were to put her head round her cabin door.
Fraser, I'm really coming to admire you. You know, from whichever direction the rain comes from, you put up a different umbrella. Oh, come on, man, state your business. What do you want from me, eh?
Things have not worked out as expected. The Scotch lass is aground, shoaled up on silt, which is why I've asked you aboard. I want the use of the Charlotte Roads. I want her towed upriver to take off the lass's cargo.
You want me to help you?
Yes, I do. You do well to remember that whatever has happened in the past, as far as this enterprise is concerned, we're two Englishmen in a remote region. And it's essential that we stand together.
Stand together. Yes. You are a caution, Fraser. The moment that you're in trouble, you come to me with your hand on your heart, waving the Union Jack.
I want the use of the Charlotte roads. I'll supply tugs.
Well, I shall have to think that one over.
No time to think it over. In 3 days' time, the river level will fall too far. She can't be moved at all.
So, what do I get in return?
Name your price.
Right then. For the use of the Charlotte roads, I want my steamer back. Oh, and while you think that one over, I'll do me butter candy down below. Well, how are you then?
There was no need for you to call.
Very heavy hints dropped.
Not by me.
Ah, that's a good start. Your uncle's got his hand on his heart.
He has one.
Ah, no, I wouldn't say that. It's never been positively identified. Yes, seems Fraser's in trouble and Fogarty's scuppered as well.
And you gloat?
No, I don't gloat, but I'd be a liar to say that I was heartbroken.
So you gloat?
Your uncle's not the Queen of the May, you know. He's got a lot to answer for. Well, haven't we all?
But he doesn't gloat.
I don't know what he does. I've never made a study of him, except what goes into his pocket out of mine. These barkentines are very fancy ships, aren't they? It's a free board. Fine turn of speed, they tell me. Very nicely fitted out.
What is my uncle doing?
Sweating.
And you?
Look, I don't like to see anybody off their feet, you know, and my hope is that you'll be on yours again soon.
Your hypocrisy is dazzling. Whatever did that poor creature you married see in you? I'm told you married for a ship. Is it true?
Mrs. Maudsley, if this is your idea of fun, I came to pay my respects.
An act of kindness?
Yes.
Tell me, Captain O'Needon, do you miss your wife?
It's not for you to ask.
You cannot spend your life regretting injuries done to some poor creature who happened to own a
I've
ship.
told you already, you'd best keep off that subject.
I'm interested in your grief. Your tears.
Ah, tears are private.
Tell me, did your wife die? Or did she just give up the ghost?
I loved my wife. Named a steamship after her. I want her back. And Fraser gets naught out of me until I do.
So you have feelings. No manners, no sympathy, but feelings, however small.
I picked you up out of the sea, covered in filth, and now you're all pride. Well, that'll have to go, along with your stupid charms. Oh, now, that is better. At least you didn't do that on anybody else's behalf, did you?
I'm sorry I only slapped you. Strumpet charms? You wouldn't know what they were.
Well, you made up your mind yet?
It's impossible. Scott Glass is not mine to give.
The Wirral Steam Navigation Company has one shareholder, yourself.
Not any longer.
Fraser, I'll wear your tricks no longer.
It's true. I had to raise more capital for this venture. I no longer control the majority of the shares. What I had in mind was to offer to withdraw from this contract entirely. I will instruct those responsible for the embargo on steam tugs to lift it. Then any further cargoes will be shipped by you as exclusive agent, with an agency percentage.
You'd withdraw entirely?
Yes. As far as I'm concerned, this contract here is yours, in its entirety.
It's very generous of you, Uncle.
Caroline.
No doubt you have told him of our suspicions.
Huh?
There's a good deal of local jealousy in these parts. Port authorities in Manaus have no desire to see their rival San Antonio develop as a port. And they are defying the government to this end. They are also obstructing us. It is their intention to get the cargo for nothing.
I intended to particularize later, of course. We're dealing with quite unscrupulous people here.
Unscrupulous, eh? Huh. Makes me feel quite homesick, doesn't it, you? Well, Fraser, we've bought a pup. San Antonio's not ready for us. We'll have to take our coal elsewhere. Thank you, Mrs. Mosley, for that bit of information. Well, I've got work to do.
Wait! It's all very well for you. You can sail the Osiris and her cargo to some other port. What about my steamship?
I would have thought that that was your business.
You can't just leave her there, man.
You mean you can't just leave her there?
I'll have to jettison 1,000 tons of coal.
Oh, as much as that, eh?
Well, you've got the Charlotte Lords empty.
Very well. We'll unload enough coal just to float her.
I'll be grateful to you.
Shall we say 50%?
Done.
Thank you, Mrs. Maudsley, for putting your uncle's cards on the table. Good day.
Well, I must say, Caroline, I could have done without your intervention.
He's so contained. I wanted to hurt him just now. And I succeeded.
So, you eased your conscience with my money.
Well, perhaps his feelings won't be so far from the surface in future.
You have taken a fancy to him.
Under the circumstances, he was generous.
Generous? Or needing?
I would have asked for 60%.
Baines, we've done it. We're taking Fraser's cargo off the last end, being paid well for doing it. Well?
Take a look to starboard, sir.
Why?
Over the starboard side, sir. I sent it. You said use it, and I thought... Well, I reckon...
The orders were mine.
What's that? It's a letter of his. He was always writing letters.
Are you, James?
Yes, I am.
An accident,
I told you.
but successful. Your voyage, and that is the main thing.
No, you must know it was a failure. Both for Fraser and myself.
Jose?
He was a victim of the country. The country, the river, the place is half savage. It was more than we bargained for, both Fraser and myself.
According to Robert, Senor Braganza has no wish to renew his contract and holds you entirely responsible.
That's his privilege. Elizabeth. Will you comfort my sister for me?